Nobody loves me. Everyone cheats me. Everyone uses me. They are only here for something. Everybody is selfish. These thoughts, we all have had at least one of them at some point in our lives. And if you are one of those having any of these thoughts in the present, then this conversation is for you. Have you ever questioned how come everyone in your life, in your circle, everyone you meet is bad? Have you ever tried to figure out why it is so? The entire world is somehow bad, and you are the victim of their cruelty all the time. And I don't know whether you have tried to find the answers or not, but have you ever questioned the possibility that maybe you are the problem? And please don't take it as a negative connotation, but all I'm trying to say is maybe there is something inside you, something in your perspective, in your way of seeing this world, which needs inspection. And who knows, that inspection might provide you with the data that would help you free yourself from this torment and open the gate to viewing this world with a completely new and different perspective. I do acknowledge that shitty people exist, and you will encounter these personalities at any phase of your life, at any turn of your life's journey. You will meet them at school, colleges, universities, workplaces, and everywhere around the corner of this world. But what if you develop the ability to identify these people? You will only be able to do that if you understand at least a fraction about humans, their nature, and complexity. Yes, humans will form relationships with you with the expectation of something in return, and if you introspect, you will find out that you are doing the same. That's why these thoughts emerge in the first place. Otherwise, if we had truly been so selfless, these thoughts wouldn't have appeared at all. You never try to introspect that. So maybe it's the right time to do so. Think, sit alone, and think. We are all doing that because that's the way we make connections with people, and that's the way the world is actually functioning if we make a careful inspection. We make friends because we may share some common grounds. It can be interest or ideas or simply a common place, or they help us and vice versa, or simply because we shared good company. There is an element of transaction in every persisting connection. You may argue on this perspective. You may argue that if you are just simply spending some time with your friends, then how is that bond a transaction? Fair point. But think carefully. You are still paying your time and energy in order for that hangout to take place. And this concept is generalizable across every relationships, by the way. So here the point is we should learn to use this mechanism in a way that minimizes the loss for everyone involved in the process. If you feel like you are not happy or if you feel like the proportions are unfair or not beneficial for you, considering the effort, time, energy and resources you are allocating, then simply have a conversation with the party or parties involved and opt out of that contract or agreement or partnership or relationship, whatever your preferred term is. For instance, let's say you are studying in college and somebody asks a favor from you, even though you have a lot of pending academic work of your own to complete. You still accept helping the person with the anticipation that they will also help you in your time of need, or maybe because you had some other favors to ask from that person, or simply because you have grown to never say no to anything. You think it's bad to do so. The reason behind it can be anything. And when the time comes and that person refuses or simply doesn't meet your expectations, you villainize them. Why? Why villainize that person? You are the one who put the expectation there in the first place. And who knows, maybe that person didn't even know you had work of your own to accomplish when they asked the favor. You should have told that person. You should have communicated. If you are actually not getting what you deserve when you quantify things, then just back off. Remember, You don't have to stay in a zero sum contract just because you're afraid of not finding something better. I assure you there will be plenty of opportunities out there. I assure you that life will surprise you. If you are undertaking actions, doing things against your liking, against your principles, against the boundaries and limits you have set for yourself, thinking you may get something you are anticipating in the future, then don't you think you are the one setting expectations here? And who knows, it even sound a bit greedy. And when your expectations are not met, you villainize that person. You victimize yourself. And if you are doing it out of fear that you may lose the person, then you already lost yourself the moment this thought occurred in your mind. You started to act in a way that is not your real self. And if a person is not presenting who they really are, then you tell me who is the one on the faultier side, who laid the foundation on lies. Think about it. Nobody is perfect. Everyone has a past. Everyone has been raised to see certain things in a certain way, which has built some prejudice and biases within us. We are shaped by the people, practices, culture, and institution around us. Even the kind of media we consume, movies, TV serials, the stuff we consume, and the people we follow online also contributes to our thinking and actions. And on top of that, we are also not spared by our biology and genetics. And again, I'm using the word we, which means you, me, and everyone. So you have to carry one thing with you throughout the entire journey of your life, which is an understanding. An understanding that people are complex beings. People are flawed, not just flawed, but highly flawed. Sometimes they are not even aware of that. And why would they be? Because the things that might feel unacceptable to you have been accepted and approved in the circle where they come from throughout their entire life. Whether those things are right or wrong can be debated, and you have the autonomy to do that in an acceptable manner. And I think you should. You should confront people with your perspective if they make sense logically, scientifically, or if they are backed by research, statistics, and data, or even if they make sense to you given the knowledge, experience, and perspective you have in contrast to the logic and reasoning the other person is citing to justify their beliefs and actions. But please communicate. Communicate what's okay for you and what's not. Communicate what makes you feel uncomfortable. Communicate your boundaries. And again, I'm not saying that people with high dark trace doesn't exist. People who are so high in Machiavellianism, they will use any tactic to get what they want. People high in narcissism, who will go to any extent to remain the center of attention. People high in psychopathy, who will never have a second thought before hurting someone. Those people do exist, but they are the minority. Here I'm talking about those who rank low in these traits. And by the way, we all have these traits, but the scale is different for every individual. And let's just say you really end up with a person who displays no sign of understanding, no sign of looking at things or even trying to look at things from different perspective. Someone who constantly violates your boundaries, doesn't respect your preferences and likings, even after you have clearly stated your values, likes, and dislikes several times. Yet that person violates them constantly, repeatedly, perpetually. And I am using these words to emphasize the fact that people can make mistakes a few times. And that's okay because we are human. We will make mistakes. Nobody is born perfect. So, yes, people will make mistakes a few times. It becomes an issue only when they do it repeatedly, again and again. In those cases, you should simply end your ties with that person. It's better. And please don't stay in that premise because you think you might be outcasted or you may not find somebody else. I assure you, There are plenty of beautiful human beings out there. There are 8 billion people out there. There are people who, despite being flawed like all of us, once realizing their flaws, constantly work on themselves to be better, to overcome the prejudice and biases they have learned, trying to make up for their mistakes when they are hit with the realization, apologizing for their mistakes when they get the chance. So please give up the thought that the people you have now or have met are the only people existing on this planet. It's not worth being with or having people who display a constant, repetitive behavior of not changing, especially when that behavior affects you. At last, I want to say stop looking at human beings as either completely bad or good. Humans are complex beings. Try to understand that complexity is possible because it will benefit your life. There are humans who make fewer mistakes compared to others. Then there are humans who make mistakes yet try to learn and rectify them. And then there also exist humans who never think about their mistakes and constantly keep repeating them. So you need to have an understanding of humans, their nature and complexity to find the best suited person for you. I hope this video has provided you with some new perspectives.